everyone. It's a pleasure to be hosting this fireside session, and I thank Maritime SheEO with all my heart for this opportunity. Today, I have with me two very esteemed guests, Guy Platten, Secretary General of the International Chamber of Shipping, and Alice Duncan, a master mariner with Red Funnel. I was really looking forward to meeting them both in person in March at the live conference, but connecting with them here virtually is also equally a pleasure. What makes this session very interesting and exciting is that Guy and Alice are father and daughter. So, besides talking about their illustrious careers, we will speak to them about the family dynamic and what led to the choices they made and how did it impact them as a family. Careers are shaped by their parents and caregivers, but when it comes to a women's career path, a father's influence plays an extremely crucial role. The changing and evolving economic role of women has greatly impacted the role that the fathers play in their lives. So, Guy, my first question is for you. I'll begin with you. You started your career as a sailor about 40 years ago and then went on to have a magnificent stint in various companies and a glorious career. You now hold a powerful and revered position as Secretary General with International Chamber of Shipping. So, having risen the ranks and coming this far, when you look back on your journey, what do you think it is that made you choose this profession? Was it a conscious choice or did it happen by default, Guy?
Thank you. It sort of fell into it. I think you reach a point when I was at school, what you're going to do next. Am I going to go to university or choose another career? And I sort of sent off for lots of different ideas. And this is a very honest thing. The reason why I chose my life at sea is the brochure they had. They had like a recruitment brochure. And I've still got that brochure. On the back page was a picture of a cadet walking hand in hand with a beautiful girl on a tropical beach. It was like a drawing. And it said, and it's not all work. And that's why I chose the career I chose based on that. So it was, that was not the only reason, but it was that travel, that excitement, that idea that you could move around the world. And in those days, although there was still a lot of air travel, it wasn't something people did that often. You know, you may go across to France from the UK or Spain, but you didn't go much further afield than that. So I think it was the opportunity to travel and meet people is what persuaded me. But that was the only thought in my head. It wasn't at that point. I wasn't thinking about the career ahead. We're just looking forward to that part of the adventure.
Okay, so it was the idea of traveling the world, going to different countries, meeting people. That's what excited you to this career.
It was, yeah, and I think the in the brochure the ships and what the cadets were doing, and they were splicing rope, and they were driving the ship, and they were taking bearings of the sun with a sextant and all those things which were quite alien to me. There was no seafaring tradition in my family at all, so it was just a choice, and one which I don't think I've ever regretted. There's been sad times. I think any sailor will empathise. There's times away from home and separation, but there's also back in very, very happy times as well. And now I'm doing what I'm doing now. And if someone had told me that 40 years ago, I would have.
Wow, you make it look so easy, and you make it look exciting, and it is an exciting career, but it comes with its challenges. So I also come from a shipping family. My father has sailed for over 35 years, and I don't work at sea, but I'm from a shipping and logistics company. So I do understand the challenges that come with it. You're very positive and optimistic to say that, to just talk about the bright side. Yes, a lot of people get into this profession for the love of travel. But having come this far, and I think your career is a living example of overcoming challenges and I'm doing it with a smile and just so. Now, my next question is for Alice. Alice, first of all, I have to say that you're an inspiration and a force to reckon with. You served as a deck officer with Red Funnel, obtained your master's certificate, and then you became the first female captain with the company. And the path that you're on, Alice, we all know the hazards and challenges that come with it. But you didn't let that stop you from chasing your dreams and making them come true. So, what I want to know is, how did it all start? What attracted you to this uncharted territory, the road less traveled?
I think it was quite similar to you, Dad, really. When I was at school, there was only two options that they gave, really, which was military or conventional university, and get a degree and sort of figure things out from there. But I was lucky enough to have grown up listening to your stories and seeing your pictures and knowing what you did. So I knew that there was another option out there, and did my research. And yeah, the same, it was just traveling the world, not ending up with mountains of student debt, and just having a career with a lot of options for progression, and yeah, different things to try and do, with responsibility from a young age. And I'm very glad that I did.
So, you automatically thought of, seafaring as a career, or you thought of other options as well? I mean, just because of your father was from the profession, it just came to you as a natural choice. Was that it
My
happened?
first plan was to be a vet, working with animals, actually, from when I was very little. That's what I wanted to do. But it was only after doing work experience there, and seeing the sad stories of them being put to sleep and the ones that you can't save, I realised that actually that's not really what I want to do after all. So I was sort of starting from scratch again, trying to think. And I don't know what it was really that
I think,
got me thinking.
don't we all look to our parents, don't we, to see what their life experience is?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I mean, look at you in a maritime logistics company. Your father was a seafarer.
Yes.
And you do sort of get drawn into this sphere, and people, and it becomes.
Yes.
It's sometimes it's not even a conscious choice. You just.
Yes, it just happens on its own.
Yeah.
So and Alice is right as well. I mean, there's in the UK, if you train as a merchant navy officer, you don't have to take any loans out. You get a small pay as a cadet, and you end up with a degree and a qualification and a job. So it's a good logical choice as well.
But as a parent, Guy, I'm sure you and your wife must have gone through this dilemma, or I don't know what went through your mind as your father. We all would like to know, when Alice decided to walk this path, which women tend to move away from or gravitate away from. So at a young age, she became a master mariner. I'm sure that filled you with pride, but were there also fears and concerns which come very naturally to a parent? Is my daughter going to be okay? Is this safe for her? Is this a safe career choice? Did you feel the need to counsel her or mentally prepare her for this profession, that this is not going to be easy and things like that? What went through your mind, and how did you, sort of prepare her for it? Or did you not
I
talk to her
suppose
before?
I think I've always had the view. I've got 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys, that I wanted them all to do exactly what they wanted to do, and there should be no barriers to stop them from doing it. Nothing in society should stop people doing whatever they want to do. So I had never had that attitude. I was obviously worried, as you would do for any child, because I know as well seafaring is still, as you said at the start, a very male-dominated industry. I think it was just 1%, 2% of seafarers are women, and so of course I was worried, but I hoped that there was a more progressive attitude around when Alice started and perhaps when I started, but there were some dark moments, I think, wasn't there, during the cadetship where and Alice can speak about it, where things didn't go well, and obviously as a father you get very worried when you get a phone call or a chat over the internet, which is always broken because the connections are never very good, and your daughter's not happy. And all you can do then is sort of just console them and just say, look, you've only got 1 more month to go, or 2 more months to go, and then you'll go and do it that way. And if you want to leave, but I mean, you had some bad times, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's quite a big culture shock when I was only 18 when I joined my first ship, which was a little chemical tanker in the Bay of Biscay in the middle of winter, all male crew, all foreign, a lot older than me. And I think then I did think a little bit, what have I done? And so, yeah, you had a few phone calls and worried emails and things, but you're always there to reassure me. And yeah, over time, I say 90% of the time was good. I really enjoyed the work. I enjoyed traveling around, the lifestyle. And yeah, there was some problems, I think, with crew members, but we got through it.
Yes.
And yeah, you were always there for advice, weren't you?
I think,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think companies are increasingly aware of these things, and I think there's more education going on as to make it. We've got a duty to make it a safe workplace for everybody, from whatever culture, nationality, agenda, to be able to work on a ship. And I think we've still got a way to go.
Yeah.
But I think things are improving, and I would encourage any young woman to think of it as a career, because actually it's a well-paid career if you can stick it and get through. There's a rewarding career there for you, and the industry is such a vast industry. You could move from seafaring, as I did, into the shore side work. So I think there's a lot of paths you can take.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as you said, being progressive plays an important role, but it also takes a lot of courage for the family to kind of, watch your own child go through these challenges, and of course, she sailed through them, and I'm sure it wasn't easy. She became successful. She became the first, female captain with the company. But I'm sure it wouldn't have been easy. But having you by her side, encouraging her, supporting her, it makes a lot of difference. And this is what I was talking about. In India, a lot of times women don't have the support of their families. They don't have the support of their husbands or their parents. And then obviously there is already a doubt surrounding that career choice, and then when you don't have your family support, that doubt sort of multiplies. But then in case of Alice, she's been lucky to have had you as a mentor and as a big support. And we really hope to have that we need more people like you in the world, Guy. The world needs more of fathers like you. No, I'm really, because it's very important to shape women's thought process, mindset, and instill that courage in them. Without the support of male role models, it's not possible. It's very difficult. It's possible, but it's very difficult. So that's really wonderful. My next question is to Alice. So Alice, when you're at sea, the job takes a toll on a woman, not only emotionally, but it also demands a lot of physical stamina. A lot of tasks that you do on board are very intense and laborious. So, did you have to prepare yourself for this, or was it already a part of your lifestyle, physical training, exercise, a good diet to keep you, physically strong?
Yeah, I've always been quite an active person, and I always liked hiking and keeping fit and sort of practical things at home. So that wasn't too much of a problem. Just get stuck in, really. And the crew are usually very kind and always there to help and look after you a little bit. Things are hard. But no, that was never a issue for me, really.
You really make everything sound very easy.
Yeah, sometimes the problem would be PPE on board, going to get a pair of gloves and they're twice the size of your hands, and you're trying to grasp things when your gloves are coming off because they're all in male sizes and things like that. I'd say that was the only time when maybe being a woman was a disadvantage, but I do think companies are starting to click onto that kind of thing, and that's getting better. I know with my company, they've made an effort to buy different sizes of PPE and equipment and things to try and make life easier for female crew members. But yeah, the physical side.
Right. Wonderful, wonderful. This is another a factor which kind of sometimes stops women from entering into this profession, because it requires a lot of physical stamina. It requires intense work, physical work on the ship. So it is daunting for them. But yes, you can prepare yourself for anything and everything once you set your mind to it. And Guy, this question is for you. It's about the young professionals today in shipping. What is it that you love about the current generation, the new generation that's joining the workforce, and what do you think that they are missing? What is it, in your opinion, that is good about them, and what's missing in the way they do their work?
I think, I think it's great to see young people joining the industry. I do worry a little with the current crisis we've had in crew changes over the last few months during COVID.
Yes.
And whether that's going to put off people from taking this up as a career because they see that they couldn't get home very easy. Things are a little bit easier now, but for some months it was very bad, and there's still lots of problems there. And that does worry me about whether someone considering a career at sea will say no thank you, because I don't want to take the risk of being away from home for so long. I mean, when I went to sea, you did 6 to 8 month trips on board the ship, and the people before me would do a year or a year and a half on board the ship. I mean, gradually brought those periods of time down, particularly in certain companies. But to actually, for a young person to commit to going away from home for 6 or 8 months, it's quite a daunting prospect. So, and I do understand that, and you try and make it as easy as you can with internet access and things like that. It's still a good career choice. And I think the other thing for young people is getting the message to them. It's you don't have to stay at sea for all your career. It's it's a choice if you want to. But actually, many people, like I did, you get your master's ticket or your chief engineer certificate, and then you come ashore and start working in shore management and build up their career that way. So you have your seagoing part of it. It's a career in maritime. It's what we try and sell to young people now, not just a career as a seafarer. It's you seafaring for part of that career. But I think where the young people coming in now, of course, they're much more technology aware than perhaps we were, and it's the sophisticated. If you go on the bridge of a modern ship, it's very sophisticated now, and you need a lot of those sort of skills, I think, to really perform well.
They're more technically empowered, you feel?
I think they are, yeah. I think and I think young people are more demanding of a career as well and what they want. So I think which is a good thing as well. And they need to see, and I think people need to feel that their company cares for them and is thinking about their developments. I mean, that's the same, I think, in society as a whole now. I think we have expectations, or young people quite rightly have expectations that they want something fulfilling and challenging in their careers.
Yes, I agree. I think they are much more vocal about what they want, and they have a lot more clarity today. And yes, technology is what they are equipped with, and they know how to use it well. And yeah, but then experience is something that the earlier generation or the older generation brings in. That's the value they bring, and nothing replaces experience. Definitely the younger generation has their strengths and ways of doing things, and they are aggressive and out there. But yeah, it's a mix of experience and both qualities that the older and younger generation can sort of bring value to a job. This is very important because this is an area where your insight, experience can really help a lot of parents out there who are in a dilemma about the seafaring profession for their daughters, not just in India, across the globe. There are a lot of parents who are confused, who have insecurities and misgivings about this profession. So, what message do you want to pass on to them as a father of a master mariner daughter? How should the parents deal with their fears, and why should they encourage their daughters into pursuing this profession? What would you tell the parents of all the daughters?
I think it's to do your research as well and to investigate what training is being provided, which company your daughter is going to go with, where the training is going to take place, and to ask questions around that. I think because you'll get reassurance if that's the case. but we don't have enough women at sea. We need seafarers. We're missing out on 50% of the population of the world and the 50% of the talent of the world. So is to try and find. I would encourage it. I'm biased, obviously. Alice is a seafarer as well, but I would so encourage parents not to discount the possibility. It is a profession. It is a well-paid job with great career prospects, and that's as a parent, that's, to me, it's very important when you're looking at what you want your children to be, is to have that. And actually, what even during this COVID crisis, the studies have shown that women seafarers have been far more mentally resilient than their male counterparts. So there's obviously a resilience and understanding. There's a unique traits that really can help the situation as well. So I think there's you're always going to be nervous and apprehensive, but actually, the world needs shipping. The world needs to trade. So there'll always be shipping in some form, and therefore, once you can get your foot on the rungs of the ladder, there's a great future ahead, and you can do so many different things. You're not stuck at sea all your life. And I'll get back to that. It's a period, and then you can come ashore and have a great career there as well.
There's quite a few women in my company where I'm close to home, working at sea, but doing shift work and be able to come home at night, who are very successful officers, masters, but still manage to have a family. I know a lot of women worry about being away from home and whether they'll be able to have a conventional family and children and things like that. But there's so many options for that now, and maternity leave given and flexibility from the company, that I don't think you have to choose between a normal life and a life at sea. I think you can do both now. I think things have changed a lot in the past, just 10 years or so, would you say? You're quite well looked after by most companies.
Yes, and Guy, you made a very, very valid point that women comprise 50% of the talent, and they can really contribute to this profession. And even not just parents, even ship owners need a mindset change in many countries where ship owners are not hiring women on board the vessels, and it's people like you whose story needs to go out to across all sections of society, all the stakeholders, all the decision makers, whether it's parents, whether it's spouse of the women, whether it's the ship owners, the employers, shipping companies, everywhere. Why is it that it's only 1% of the global seafaring population is women? It's only because of a mindset. And stories like Alice's, success stories like Alice's, and your example as a supportive and progressive parent will go a long way in changing this. And I think this is what this chat is set out to do. Through this chat, we want to, as I earlier said, we want to reach out to as many people as possible and kind of share this story and share your lives, both of you, as an example of breaking the glass ceiling and walking the road less travel, and being good at it and being successful at it. So yes, it's 50% of the population, and that can't be ignored. That's a very logical kind of fact. So my last question, Alice, is for you. Um, your career graph will be seen as a living example and a proof that women, against all odds, can rise up the ranks in this profession and be extremely content and happy with a life at sea. Today, we have a lot of young women looking up to you. A lot of women will be watching this session, will be attending this conference. They will be wanting you to share your words of wisdom. What message would you like to give them? What would you like to tell them through your experience? Address their fears and misgivings about entering this profession. All the women who are afraid or facing anxiety about whether they should enter into this profession, what would you like to tell them?
Well, I'd like to say, really, if this is what your heart's set on, don't let any fears stop you, and there's nothing to lose, really. So really being deep sea away from home can be all of your career, or it can only be a small part as a stepping stone for lots of different opportunities ashore. And don't be afraid to speak up if you're having a bad time at sea. I've always, as well as support from my dad, and he's always been on the phone to give advice. Any complaints that I've had and gone to my company have been sorted out right away. They know now the benefit of having women at sea and more balanced crews, and know what women can bring. So they will really do their best to try and make sure that you're happy and feeling safe and content at sea. And so I've never had any regrets, even during hard times, and I've really enjoyed all of my career up to now.
Okay, so what you're saying is set your heart to it, set your mind, soul, and heart to it, and you will be successful. And very importantly, what you said, Alice, is don't be afraid to speak up. If something is wrong, or if something you feel is not right. And a lot of women don't speak up. They are afraid, and if they face any kind of unpleasant situation on the ship, if there is a harassment or bullying or anything, there are few who have the courage to speak up. So yes, some very important. Yeah, you want to say something?
Oh no, I just say, yeah, it's very rare. I'll say most of the time I felt very looked after and part of the crew, but no one would ever judge, and I've always been taken very seriously when I have had complaints, and they've been sorted out right away. It's definitely not something to be worried about speaking up.
I think you also, and you're president of WISTA in India, you know, the job that WISTA does, I think, is vital, because there is a mentoring side of your organisation to encourage people that they're not alone. Because I think that's often the situation, is that people feel that they're the only one going through something. So I think it's really important that there's a support network to help women move into the maritime industry.
Yes. So yeah, it's not just important for the women to speak up. Absolutely, the company has to provide the environment where situations are resolved, where grievances are resolved, where you're well taken care of, and loving what you do, enjoying what you do, or speaking up when something goes wrong. The right environment and the right atmosphere, the working atmosphere, is so important, because unfortunate incidents happen. A lot of times the women don't get that environment, but nonetheless, courage is very important, as Alice lightly pointed out. And enjoy what you do, have the passion for your work. And I think all the obstacles and all the hindrances will then just you'll be able to face them easily and handle them a lot easier if you enjoy what you do, and if you have the passion to be at sea and have a career at sea. So that's wonderful. I think this was my last question. With this, I conclude our fireside chat, and I just want to say that it's not about gender. It's about the right person for the right job.
Yeah.
If you have the skill set, if you have the determination to do what you're set out to do, then your gender cannot be stopping you in achieving what you want to achieve. And people will start looking at your work and taking you seriously. Alice said something about being taken seriously. Of course, if you're good at your job, and if you have the skill set, and if you're professional, why won't you be taken seriously? So as you both said, times are slowly changing, the mindsets are changing, people are recognizing women across all domains. And but then still, we in the maritime industry, we do have a long way to go. So thank you so much, Guy and Alice. It was lovely chatting with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Summiit. It's lovely speaking to you, meeting you.
Thank you.